been an Xbox guy since I was like 9 years old. The first time I ever played Halo CE just cemented me as an Xbox fan, and I've been one ever since. But about a year and a half ago, I picked up a PlayStation 4 so I could play the sweet exclusives like The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm not gonna lie, when I heard this game was gonna be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, only playable on the PlayStation 4, I knew I had to hold on to mine so I could play this game day one, and that's exactly what I did. And it's the first PlayStation game I've ever attempted to get early, and this is my review of Marvel's Spider-Man. The first question that everybody asks when there's a new Spider-Man game is, how's the web swinging? So that's where I'm going to start this review. This game, hands down, has the best web swinging I've ever played in a Spider-Man game. It is easy enough for just about anybody to pick up, but requires just enough input from the player to allow yourself to express yourself creatively with your web swinging and really make it your own. And it checks all the little boxes that Spider-Man game fans, care about. Webs are connecting to buildings. There's a good sense of weight, as you follow through with your swings, and it is an absolute blast to swing around the city as Spider-Man. The combat is also fantastic. It's very Arkham-esque, reminding me of games like the Batman games, of course, and Shadow of Mordor, which means to say that it's very good, it's very fluid, it's also very Spider-Man. You're doing moves that are extremely acrobatic, and it's just so fun to really express yourself, and that's one thing I keep saying with this game. It allows you to express yourself in everything you're doing, whether it's web swinging or combat. Combat, I'm just going to punch this guy, kick this guy, jump over him, web this guy, and it's not just me button mashing, I'm actually in control all the time, making these things happen, and it's incredible. The game also has some pretty good stealth mechanics, though a lot of the stealth sections are actually forced upon the player, which I'm not a huge fan of, but there are a lot of open organic sections where I can choose to take out some guys stealthily before I engage to kind of thin the herd and make the combat a little bit easier, which I do really appreciate, but I wish they didn't have so many sections where it was forced upon me. And as you level up, you'll also unlock a lot of gadgets in the game that you can use in combat. There's also an entire skill tree where you can upgrade your combat, your stealth, and even learn new web swinging tricks and acrobatics. It's really cool. There's also a diverse selection of Spider-Man suits that you can craft, which there's just about one for everybody. Now, as far as the story, no spoilers, but there are some twists. There's some surprise characters in this game that they did not announce that I was very excited to see, that I was hoping were in the game, and it's a very good Spider-Man story. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you know what it takes to make a good Spider-Man story. One of the most important things is this balance between Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and this game has it. And you know what I'm saying? Take Batman, for example, where Batman is Batman and he's pretending to be Bruce Wayne. Spider-Man is completely different. Peter Parker is trying to, has the responsibility of being Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's responsibility is getting in the way of Peter Parker's life, and vice versa. It makes for some incredible storytelling because he's a younger guy. He's also got the perfect quips. I really enjoy the voice actor that they cast for Spider-Man, and they just nail that balance between Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and how Spider-Man is getting into Peter Parker's life and messing things up, and it makes it real, and it raises the stakes. Spider-Man might save, in one mission, save a bunch of people and do this tremendous thing, and people are like, oh, we love you, Spidey, whatever, and then immediately after that he gets a text that he's getting evicted from his apartment. And it's great. It's moments like that that make this game a great Spider-Man story, and it's filled with them. Not to mention that a lot of the characters that we know and love in Spider-Man stories are in this, but with a couple twists just to make things fresh. I love the depiction of Peter Parker. I love the depiction of Mary Jane, and I loved seeing them together on screen. It seemed like I was watching a movie or playing something from Naughty Dog. It was just incredible.
Hey, Pete.
MJ? What are you doing here?
Same as you. Working. At least, I was.
You also get to play as some side characters like Mary Jane in what is mostly stealth sections, but unlike Spider-Man's 4 stealth sections, you're not Spider-Man, so it's not as fun. And it might be a complete coincidence, but it's in these sections where I actually saw the most bugs. You also get to play as Peter Parker outside of the suit, where he goes to his job and does little mini-game puzzles for XP, which I actually did enjoy, but these ones with Mary Jane just kind of felt forced, and I don't understand why they couldn't be in a cutscene, because the game's cutscenes are so good anyway. The game actually does have quite a few decent boss fights that I did really enjoy, but a lot of these boss fights are actually ended with a QTE sequence, and I don't know, are people really still impressed by these? I mean, they do look visually cool, but I'm just not a huge fan of the whole, mash square or press square to beat the boss, in a video. I'd much rather be in control the entire time, but if a few QTE sequences and some forced stealth sections are all I have to complain about in a game, then it's a pretty good game. So yeah, those are my opinions. I absolutely adored this game and completely devoured it. I can't wait to run through it again. If you own a PS4, pick it up. If you love Spider-Man, pick it up. And it's got a few flaws. Some forced stealth sections, some QTE things that I'm just not too impressed by. But in the end, it did not hinder my overall experience. I loved the game. I can't wait to go back and play it again. In the end, it makes you feel like Spider-Man, and that's all I really wanted with this game. And it nailed it perfectly. It is an excellent Spider-Man game with an excellent Spider-Man story, with excellent Spider-Man combat and web slinging. That's the best praise I can give this game. Pick it up if you own the system. Now, I know there's a lot of Xbox fans, me included, that were really upset that this game did not come to our system. And I get it, Spider-Man being a Sony thing. But, all I really have to say to you guys is that this game is fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed it. But is it worth picking up the system for alone? I personally don't think so. I picked up my PlayStation 4 so that I could play a lot of exclusives that I was really excited about. The Last of Us, Horizon, God of War, and this. And if you can justify, if you're excited for those games as well, then absolutely go for it. Spider-Man will not disappoint you. It might even be your favorite game of all of those. But in the end, if you can find any way to get a PS4, whether borrowing one from a friend or getting one cheap if you're lucky, then I highly suggest you try out this game. You will not be disappointed. But that's all I have for today. If you like this video, be sure to like it. I do make new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.